what's it like working in the motoring field? You get to drive cool cars the whole day. What is there not to love about doing this? Some of the coolest cars on earth, some of the coolest people on earth. In actual fact, imagine being the editor of Car Magazine. What a cool job would that be? Working every single day, driving the cars that you like, having coffees, chatting about all things motoring. It's so much harder than you think. Ladies and gentlemen, the all-new editor of Car Magazine is Damian Adams. We're going to find out from him what a day in his life looks like. There's deadlines. Everybody wants you to test the latest cars, and importantly, sometimes you get to drive some of those amazing cars. Speaking of which, M4 competition convertible and Damian Adams, the all-new editor at Car Mag. Damian Adams.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Good day, sir.
Well, thank you.
Phenomenal. Listen, nice set of wheels.
Yes.
I was just telling everybody, you know, everybody thinks you work for Car Magazine, you get to drive all the coolest cars. And yes, that is true partially. And I'll say partially because this man knows more than others how hard it can be to be an editor of one of the nation's most loved motoring magazines.
Yeah, no, thank you for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here and to be driving this. Starting the new gig.
Absolutely.
And very excited to be. Get to play around with some proper toys.
Absolutely.
And this is the start of something interesting and exciting.
You are the hardest working editor because I tell people, you know, and I said to them now, that when you think about Car Magazine, you think about, oh, these guys, all they do every day of their lives is get behind the wheel of really cool cars and just drive them and talk about them. And again, I said that's a part of the day, but it's the smallest part of the day because the longest part of the day is filling the pages of a magazine with the greatest and best content around motoring that there is. Sourcing that, making sure it's on time, making sure deadlines are met, making sure that clients are happy with their products being featured in the pages of Car Magazine. It's been a journey to get there. You've been an editor at other loved publications. We're going to chat about that more in detail. Let's hop in the car. You're driving us around.
Looking
Let's
forward
go.
to it.
Damian, it's been actually lekker getting to know you over the past couple of months, and my introduction to you at Highbury Media, the kind of a holding body for Car Magazine, was when you were as an editor of another publication, a motoring publication within the stable. And I remember our first encounter, you going, "Hi, it's lovely to meet you, but I've got to go. I'm under so much pressure. I've got to get stuff done. I've got to work long hours."
I was on deadline that week.
You were on deadline. Now, for those people that don't know, tell us about a day in the life of an editor, first of all.
Well, usually we'd have a photo shoot.
Okay.
And those only happen sunrise or sunset.
So that's early mornings and late nights.
Early morning, and if it's summer, a relatively late night.
Got you.
But if it's sunrise in summer, very early morning. So that's usually the start
of a day.
And then checking emails, there's usually a good couple of them.
Yes.
And at the publication I was with, I was basically the only editorial member, so I saw all the readers' mails, the stuff from the sales guys, and manage the freelancers, stuff like that. So usually do some creative stuff in the morning because that's how I often worked, either photo shoot or writing, then doing some admin, and before you know it, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, and you're busy planning for the next day, you know, and the car wrangling, finding out the dates, what's available when, and making sure that I don't bite off more than I can chew, because we have events and attending launches. That's more time away from the desk. Let me just
That's
rewind.
a lot of work that you're taking on there.
Yeah, so I just want to rewind that in 2017 I actually started at Car as an intern.
Right.
That straight out of university, spent 2 years there, then I moved to Motor, and 5 years later I find myself at Car Magazine, the youngest ever editor.
And deservedly so. Tell us, was it something you always wanted to do? Where did the passion and the love for motoring come from?
I would have to say at home. I had a Sky-Electric slot car racing set from as young as I can remember. It was a DTM set with an Audi A4 and an Alfa 155. So that probably is the memory that comes first and kick-started my love for cars. And I'd say my dad, he always had an interesting car lying around at home.
Yes.
And I used to sort of go out with him and sit on his lap and steer as a little kid.
Yeah.
And as I got older, he would teach me how to do clutch control and all the rest of that. So, and obviously Killarney.
Yes.
I used to go watch races at Killarney every now and again. And back in those days, they did the production racing.
Yeah.
And that was really exciting to see as a young kid. So I definitely grew up with that. And then one day I was sitting at home and I saw this advert pop up for an internship, and I was like, I have to do this.
Yes.
And I sat right there and then I typed the email as to why I should get an interview. And at the time it was Steve, the editor.
Yes.
I had a meeting with Steve, and that was that.
That is, now it's all history.
Yeah.
Now all the way down the line, you find yourself the youngest ever editor of Car Magazine, and it's such a, I guess, you know, you look at the brand and you see we're in 65 years of the publication of this brand, and it goes without saying that it's a heritage brand that really focuses on delivering the best content.
Yes.
And I mean, that's a big role and big shoes to climb into and navigate. And how have you found it over the past couple of months? I mean, you've literally just transitioned, but it's been a handover process.
It has been, yes.
Has it sunk in?
It hasn't sunk in, but it has been an incredible couple of weeks and months leading up to this day. I've learned so much in a short space of time. Obviously, I'm very passionate about cars, so it's easy to get caught up in what's the latest and greatest.
Sure.
But now I need to be quite tactical about my priorities and what's important. And I'm sort of in that right now, in that process, figuring out what I need to get done by when. And we have a new team that's been developed, and getting to know those guys and learning what their strengths are, and obviously enjoying the ride, because it is a dream job. So I obviously don't want to take that for granted.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about Damian away from Car Magazine. Family man, your weekends, how do you enjoy spending time away from cars?
All right, so my wife's a teacher.
Oh, brilliant.
And she a high school teacher, so she basically works more hours than I do.
Yeah.
Most of my time, and we got 2 little dogs.
I've seen the cutest.
Connor and Tyson, yep. So yeah, they...
Conor McGregor and Mike Tyson. Huh?
That wasn't the original idea, but they do act like a pair of scollies sometimes. Like they're not very sociable, but they're like friendly with people, but with other dogs, then they turn into a bunch of pack animal who want blood and a prize.
Oh, that is brilliant.
But yeah, so that's sort of my life. I'm not recently married, 18 months married.
Okay. So that's recent. I mean, that's, you know, you're still on honeymoon, man.
Yes, basically. I live in Muizenberg.
Okay.
So I enjoy having a coffee and walking
part
on
of the
beach.
world.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
A very special part of the world. And obviously being a car guy, some lovely roads. Boys Drive, Oakapsewe. Chapman's Peak isn't far away. Radial Road is another favorite of mine, just outside Simonstown. Yeah.
And do you enjoy, when you're in the car by yourself, music or no music?
No music.
No music.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be if you love cars, because you meditate in that time. It's like, you know, it truly allows you just to be with your thoughts.
Yes.
And especially the fact that I guess we're changing cars all the time. As soon as we get used to a car in terms of its what it offers inside, the feel of the car, etc., it's time for that car then to leave. So you never quite get comfortable inside the space of a car. So this is why I guess we don't want to hear anything else other than the car, to connect with that and try and gather our thoughts on what it is we're feeling when we're driving it.
I want to give my honest and pure impressions almost. So when I get the chance to really just be focused on what's happening around me, I do.
Yeah.
And also, folks might not believe this, but being a motoring journalist is high stress and high pressure.
Of stress.
So being in the car is actually my moment of quiet. Whether just be sitting in traffic to head back home. So yeah, it is a fortress of solitude when the opportunity arises. But I also enjoy having a proper drive.
Sure.
Getting up early, going to a nice winding mountain road. A Clarence Drive is one of my all-time favorites. If you're there during sunrise, there's very few things that can actually beat that for me.
100%.
Yeah.
Are you, if I just say the best car you've had the opportunity to drive, what would you say?
Oof.
Tough one, eh?
That is a tough one.
Because There's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
You know, it's so hard to say the best drives.
There's so many, and I've been so lucky. I've probably driven between 100 and 110 cars every year for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So I have an Excel spreadsheet that I've been lucky enough to actually maintain. But off the top of my head, Cayman GT4 manual.
Wow.
That was special. Onto Toitskloof Pass.
Yes.
Flat six behind your head. That was a highlight amongst the many highlights.
I've driven that car. That gearbox on that car is just that 4-liter engine is just, there's so many things. I mean, and realizing that 4-liter engine came from a previous generation GT3.
Yes, incredible.
And now is in that Cayman.
Yes.
It's just, and now there's an RS version of that. That hopefully, watch the space.
The launch is happening right
soon,
now,
and Car Magazine will be there to give you the latest on that when it drops. Damian, really, everything of the best for your tenure as editor of Car Mag. I've got absolutely no doubt that you were made to be the best editor that Car Magazine's ever seen. So, wishing you everything of the best for your tenure there.
No, that really means so much, and it's great to have guys like you on board. And I'm really looking forward to what the future of car looks like, and to be part of that is really a dream come true. And I hope that our readers can encourage us to do more cool stuff, because I think we have the opportunity to do it. And I'm going to be there to see where I can help to make all the content to become a reality.
I love it. And if you're watching this thinking, why aren't they talking about the M4? Listen, it's coming. It's on its way, ladies and gents. Damian and I are going to take this M4 competition convertible and put it through its paces. Keep liking, subscribe. Also, click on the banner and have a look at the latest catalog of cars. If you love BMW, well, have a look at our selection of pre-owned BMWs. It's a click away. Your next car is available on Car Mag's platforms. We catch you again soon.